Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivanodari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivanodari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivanodari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivanodari Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivanodari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivanodari Sodanandana Brajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Tira. Jaya Mr. Pad Paramahansa Prabhu Jagacharya also tells to the Shishimad, His Divine Grace to the A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki, Ananda Gaudiya Vaishnava Ki Jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Prem Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Sri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai, Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath, Samakun, Radhakun, Giri Govardhan Ki Jai, Shri Vrindavandam Ki Jai, Shri Maya Purnavidam Ki Jai, Gangamai Ki Jai, Jamunamai Ki Jai, Tulsi Devi Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Samaveda Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai, Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Jai, Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Gau Premanandi, all glorious summer devotees, all glorious summer devotees, all glorious summer devotees, all glorious Shishi Guru and Sri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So this morning we read from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 7, text number 6, and it's prose. So I'm just going to read the English. After performing the preliminaries of various sacrifices, Maharaja Bharata offered the results in the name of religion to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva. In other words, he performed all the yagyas for the satisfaction of Lord Vasudeva, Krishna. Maharaja Bharata thought that since the demigods were different parts of Vasudeva's body, he controls those who are explained in the Vedic mantras. By thinking in this way, Maharaja Bharata was freed from all material contamination, such as attachment, lust, and greed. When the priests were about to offer the sacrificial ingredients into the fire, Maharaja Bharata expertly understood how the offering made to different demigods was simply an offering to the different limbs of the Lord. For instance, Indra is the arm of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Surya, the sun, is his eye. Thus Maharaja Bharata considered that the oblations offered to different demigods were actually offered unto the different limbs of Lord Vasudeva. Purport. The Supreme Personality of Godhead says that as long as one does not develop the pure devotional service of Shravanam Kirtanam, hearing and chanting, one must carry out his prescribed duties. Since Bharata Maharaj was a great devotee, one may ask why he performed so many sacrifices that are actually meant for karmis. The fact is that he was simply following the orders of Vasudeva, as Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Sarvadharmam parityaja mamekam saranam bhaja. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. Sri Bhagavad Gita 1866. Whatever we do, we should constantly remember Vasudeva. People are generally addicted to offering obeisances to various demigods, but Bharata Maharaj simply wanted to please Lord Vasudeva, as stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Bhaktaram Yagatapasang Sarvalokam Hesram, Bhagavad Gita 5.29. A yajna may be carried out to satisfy a particular demigod, but when the yajna is offered to the ādi-puruṣaṁ, Narayan, the demigods are satisfied. The purpose of performing different yajnas is to satisfy the Supreme Lord. One may perform them in the name of different demigods or directly. If we directly offer oblations to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the demigods are automatically satisfied. If we water the root of a tree, the branches, twigs, fruits, flowers are automatically satisfied. When one offers sacrifices to different demigods, one should remember that the demigods are simply parts of the body of the Supreme. If we worship the hand of a person, we intend to satisfy the person himself. If we massage a person's legs, we do not really serve the legs, but the person who possesses the legs. All the demigods are different parts of the Lord, and if we offer service to them, we actually serve the Lord Himself. Demigod worship is mentioned in the Brahma-samhita, but actually the slokas advocate worship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Govinda. For instance, worship of the goddess Durga is mentioned this way in the Brahma-samhita, 544. sṛṣṭi-sthiti-pralaya-sādhana-śaktir chāyeva yasya bhuvanāni bibharti durgā icchānurūpam yasya ceṣṭate govindam ādi-puruṣaṁ ahaṁ bhajāmi. Following the orders of Sri Krsna, the goddess Durga creates, maintains, and annihilates. Sri Krsna also confirms this statement in the Bhagavad Gita, Mayādhyakṣeṇa prakṛtiḥ, sūyate sa-carācaram. This material nature is working under my direction, O son of Kunti, and it is producing all moving and unmoving beings. Bhagavad Gita 9.10. We should worship the demigods in that spirit. Because the goddess Durga satisfies Krishna, we should therefore offer respects to goddess Durga. Because Lord Shiva is nothing but Krishna's functional body, we should therefore offer respects to Lord Shiva. Similarly, we should offer respects to Brahma, Agni, and Surya. There are many offerings to different demigods, and one should always remember that these offerings are usually meant to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Bharata Maharaj did not aspire to receive some benediction from demigods. His aim was to please the Supreme Lord. In the Mahabharata, among the 1,000 names of Vishnu, it is said, Yagya Bhuk, Yagya Krit, Yagya. The enjoyer of sacrifice, the performer of Yagya, and Yagya itself are the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord is the performer of everything, but out of ignorance, the living entity thinks that he is the actor. As long as we think we are the actors, we bring about Karma-Bandha, bondage to activity. If we act for Krishna, for Yajna, there is no Karma-Bandha. Yagyartat karmanon yatra lokoyam karma-bandhanaha. Bhagavad Gita-3.9. Work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed, otherwise work binds one to this material world. Following the instructions of Bharata Maharaj, we should act not for our personal satisfaction, but for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In Bhagavad Gita 17.28, it is also stated, Ashradhaya hutam datam tapastaptam kutam chayat asad yujyate parta nachatat no iha. Sacrifices, austerities, and charities performed without faith in the Supreme Personality of Godhead are non-permanent, regardless of whatever rituals are performed. They are called asat, non-permanent. They are therefore useless both in this life and the next. Kings like Maharaj Ambarish and many other Rajarsis who were pure devotees of the Lord simply passed their time in the service of the Supreme Lord. When a pure devotee executes some service through the agency of another person, he should not be criticized, for his activities are meant for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. A devotee may have a priest perform some karma-kanda, and the priest may not be a pure devotee, but because the devotee wants to please the Supreme Lord, he should not be criticized. The word apurva is very significant. The resultant actions of karma are called apurva. When we act piously or impiously, immediate results do not ensue. We therefore wait for the results, which are called apurva. The results are manifest in the future. Even the smartas accept this apurva. Pure devotees simply act for the pleasure of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, the results of their activities are spiritual or permanent. They're not like those of the karmis, which are non-permanent. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. Gata sangasya muktasya jnana vashtita chetasaha yagya ya charata karma samagram pravaliyate. The work of a man who is unattached to the modes of material nature and who is fully situated in transcendental knowledge merges entirely into transcendence. A devotee is always free from material contamination. He is fully situated in knowledge, and therefore his sacrifices are intended for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om jnana tamarandasya jnananjana salakaya chakshurmilitam jena tasmai Sri Gurave namah mukhaṁ kotavāchalam pangundam hayate gurim yat kripa taraham vande Shri Gurum dinataranam vanchakalpatibhyascha kripa sindhu vyevacha puryanam bhavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jaya Sri Krsna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. In this purport, Prabhupada emphasizes the importance of acting for the satisfaction of Krishna. That results that we receive, they should be offered to Krishna. We're servants of Krishna, so naturally the results should be offered to Krishna. He's known as Kartam Isha, which means the boss. Krishna's the boss. And we're all servants of that supreme boss, Krishna. Maybe Bhakti Tyler, you can do that later. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Karma-Bandha ma phalechu kadachana ma kama phala horti mati sango sa-carācaram. That you have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you're not entitled to try to enjoy the fruits of your activities. Never think yourself to be the cause of the result of your activity, and never be attached to being the controller. So, when I distribute books, quite often I'll speak to Hindus, and there's one verse that they quite often quote. Karma-Bandha. They memorize that one. You have a right to perform your prescribed duty, and they stop right there. They don't go to the next line, but you're not entitled to enjoy the fruits of your activity. They don't learn that one. It's amazing, huh? But yeah, Krishna, he's the boss. He's the enjoyer. Bhoktaram yagatapasang sarva lokam maheswaram. He's the enjoyer of activities. He's the proprietor. So if he's the proprietor, then he's also the enjoyer, naturally, right? Just like someone might have someone might own some big business, and one of the employees, he decides that he wants to be the enjoyer of the business, and he goes and just goes right into the owner's office and sits down in the owner's office chair there, and he just decides to take over. He can't do that. The boss goes in there. Hey, what are you doing sitting in my seat? Well, I decided to take over. I'm going to be the boss. I'm the new boss now. He's going to call the police. They get this crazy guy out of here. So that's what the material world is. We wanted to be the enjoyer, the proprietor. And Krishna said, all right, we have a place for you. It's called the material world. So here, we're trying to become sane again. They call the prisons correctional facilities. So here we're trying to become corrected, learn what is the actual reality. That Krishna, he's the boss, he's the enjoyer, and we're the servants. So we're meant to act for him. Yagya dana tapa karma natyajyam karyam evita. Yagya dana tapas chāyeva bhuvanāni manisina. That these yagya, the sacrifice, austerity, charity, these are never to be given up. These purify even the great souls. So even when one becomes a pure devotee, it's like Prabhupada, such a pure devotee, but he still chanted his 16 rounds. He would go to Mangalarti. Actually, he would be writing, but sometimes he would go. But he was absorbed in Krishna. Great example. So even such a pure devotee, he is the example for us. So sacrifice has to be performed, and by this sacrifice, we get purified. By this tapasya, we get purified. By charity, one becomes purified. So the results are supposed to be offered to Krishna. There was one instance where one businessman, he was speaking to Prabhupada in Prabhupada's room, and he questioned this, that Swamiji, that we're supposed to offer the results to Krishna, but I got a family, I got to support, I got to raise my family. If I give all the results to Krishna, and Prabhupada said, no, you have to take care of your family, that's all right. But you should try to help your family become Krishna conscious. And when you're at work, you should try in some way or another, try to implant Krishna and bring prasadam. Just like we heard recently how that lady, she was going to work and she was bringing prasadam, and her husband also, and Prabhupada had them doing the morning program there. So, no, you have to maintain your family, but be Krishna conscious while you're maintaining your family. Yeah. And Prabhupada actually had this program that 50% of one's profit should go to Krishna. That's not many were able to do that. I know a couple of devotees that were able to do that, but they were big business, doctors. They made a lot of money, so they were able to spare a lot. But most householders are just trying to pay bills, so it's very, very difficult. But that was the standard that Srila Prabhupada wanted householders to have. That you give 50% to Krishna for spreading Krishna consciousness. So, like Prabhupada, after this man asked that, he said, "We have these. You see these disciples of mine. They're giving everything to Krishna. All the results, whatever they get, they're giving to Krishna." But of course, when you have household life, you have a house, and you have so many bills, so you have to be practical. Also, so Prabhupada, he understood that. So Prabhupada said that whatever we do, we should constantly remember Krishna while doing it. Then we could offer the results to Krishna. Smartavya sadatang Vishnur. Vishmartavya najatuchit. That there's so many rules. Like there was one person that said to Prabhupada, you're very conservative. Prabhupada said, no, I'm not. I'm very liberal. If you knew all the rules, you would faint. So Prabhupada said, no, I'm very liberal. You know, like he did things that were never done in India. You know. Brahmacharya ashram, never heard of, isn't it? Never heard of in India. But he knew there's, you know, the boys and girls they're attracted to Krishna, and you know, in India the standard is girl, she gets married by what, 16, you know, generally. Used to be, not anymore. But she would get married. But here in the West, women would be independent. They don't want to get married. Yeah. Brahmacharya ashram. And they did so many books. Thousands and thousands. They were the biggest book distributors, actually. Not always, but when Prabhupada was here, they were huge. They got great inspiration from Prabhupada. Not so much now, but in Prabhupada's time, just like in Los Angeles airport, a lot of devotees are doing the airports. There would be about 15 devotees doing the airport every day. And the women, they got the best spots because they were the best distributors. So, yeah, it's a little different now. So here in this purport and in the verse, it's mentioned about demigod worship. Now, as we all know, a lot of people worship the demigods, and even devotees, just like the greatest devotees, the gopis, they worship the demigods. But why? To have Krishna as their husband. So one can worship the demigods with a proper purpose, but if one is worshiping the demigods just to get some material amenities, to get some material enjoyment, no, then one becomes bound. So when Prabhupada was in India preaching, this was a big hurdle for Prabhupada. Yeah, well, why Krishna? Why only Krishna? What about Durga? It's like in Bengal, they worship Durga. Major deity there, it's the main deity they worship. That's where Prabhupada was from. They worship Durga. And so many people, they worship Shiva. And they worship Ganesh. And they worship Vishnu. So they would come, why Krishna? Why Krishna? So it was a big hurdle that Prabhupada had to cross over. And while he was there preaching in India, he couldn't get a stronghold in spreading Krishna consciousness. This is one of the reasons. So he decided, well, let me go to the West, since I was ordered in that way. And he didn't have to deal with that. Here in the West, no one's ever heard of Durga. I never heard of Durga before I joined, or Vishnu, or Ganesh, or Shiva. Never heard any of these names. So when Prabhupada presented Krishna, okay, we accepted Krishna. Yeah. So it was easier. In that sense, it was easier. Of course, the other hurdle Prabhupada had to deal with here is us Westerners are so addicted to sense gratification. Yeah. And he even said that when I go to America and I explain these four regular principles, they're going to say, Swamiji, go home. He was thinking that they were going to say, and he was shocked. He was shocked that the youth accepted following these four regular principles. He was very surprised. And thousands of them, you know, the Hare Krishna explosion. So this is a great surprise for Srila Prabhupada. So it's mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam, worship of the demigods. Higher than worship of the demigods is to worship Lord Vishnu. What's higher than worshiping Lord Vishnu? No, same. Vishnu Narayan. Yes. To worship the devotees is even higher than worshipping Lord Vishnu, because the devotees are very, very dear to Krishna. So Prabhupada gave us this understanding. And actually there's an instance in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the 10th canto, where some sages gathered and they were trying to understand, well, who is the greatest? There's Vishnu, there's Shiva, there's Brahma. These are the controlling deities of the universe. So they wanted to test who was the greatest of the three. So they appointed Bhrigu Muni, to test, to see who is supreme amongst the three. So he's the son of Brahma. So first he went to Brahma, and when you go to your father, the standard is, the culture is, that you offer respects. They actually pay obeisances, yeah? They do that? Yeah? Sometimes, not always. Not obeisances, offer respects. Yeah. So, and you know, especially Lord Brahma, you offer some words of praise, but he didn't offer any words of praise. Didn't even acknowledge that he's before his father. You know, Lord Brahma. So that was offensive. And Lord Brahma, he was offended. And he was going to curse him. But because Lord Brahma, he's Lord Brahma, his mode of goodness, he controlled himself. But he was getting ready to curse him. He got angry. So he could see, oh, anger. That's a symptom of low consciousness. No, not necessarily. If one is angry because Lord Vishnu is blasphemed, then that's good. But if one is angry because someone didn't respect me, that's not good. That's not good, because the devotee is not interested in being respected. So then he went to his brother, Lord Shiva. And when Lord Shiva saw him, he got up to embrace him. And Bhrigu Muni said, "No, please, please. You got all these ashes on you, and you hang around these dirty places. Please, please, spare me." You know. And Lord Shiva, he got real angry. He's got a trident. He was ready to kill him. He got so upset. And my brother, what kind of a brother is this? I'm going to kill you. You know, nonsense. But Parvati, his wife, stopped him from killing. So he got real angry. So definitely not the greatest of the three. So then he went to Lord Vishnu. And what did he do? Gave him a kick on the chest. See, there's different types of offenses. There's mental offense, there's verbal, and there's corporal. So that's the worst, corporal offense, where he actually physically kicked him. And it's described that because of that, Lakshmi doesn't allow Brahmanas to have wealth. Yeah, that's why generally Brahmanas are poor. She wasn't pleased with that at all. So, but what did Lord Vishnu say? He said, "Oh, Bhrigu Muni, please forgive me. When you came to my home, I didn't receive you properly, and now your feet are so soft and gentle, and you've kicked my hard chest. It must be hurting. Please, let me massage your feet." He was massaging his feet. Yeah. So, big difference there. So, it was understood. Actually, it's described, I think in the Nectar Devotion, somewhere I found, that Bhrigu upon seeing the purity of Lord Vishnu, he started dancing. He started dancing. He was praising Lord Vishnu. He was praising Lord Vishnu. And in this chapter, Prabhupada mentions that one's greatness is understood by how tolerant one is in reverse situations. One's greatness is understood by how tolerant one is in reverse situations. Yeah. So, as Lord Chaitanya said, Tranadapi, Sunichena, Tarorapi, Sahisna, Amanina, Manina, Kirtaniya Sadhari. That to chant the holy name constantly, one must be tolerant like a tree, more humble than a blade of grass, ready to offer all respects to others without desiring respect for oneself. So this tolerance is so important. Yeah. In the material world, there's so many reversals. We all experience reversals. So we should remember this this pastime of Bhrigu Muni and Lord Vishnu. So here in the last sentence, Prabhupada says a devotee is always free from material contamination. And Sutta Goswami, he says in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Tada rajas tamo bhava kamalobhas chayasti, that as soon as irrevocable loving service is established in the heart, the effects of nature's modes of passion and ignorance, such as lust, desire, and hankering, they disappear from the heart. Thus one becomes established in goodness and completely happy. So this is the result of performing devotional service. We become free of the modes of material nature. We become free of lust and desire and hankering. Now I found in the purport to this verse, Prabhupada's purports are just like, they're verses in themselves. They're practically slokas in themselves. He's such a pure devotee. So he says in the purport, the soul's activities become adulterated in contact with matter. Thus the diseased activities become expressed in the form of lust, desire, hankering, inactivity, foolishness, and sleep. So this is how the impurities come out. This lust and greed and hankering. So the purpose of the human form of life is to become free of this disease. Just like if someone is diseased, they go to a doctor and the doctor gives some medicine, and hopefully there's some effect, and that is the temperature is, the fever goes down, and he feels energy again. He feels better. And so this is also the effect of practicing Krishna consciousness. This is what we're doing, is we're taking medicine. We're chanting the holy names. We're reading Prabhupada's books. We're associating with the devotees. This is all medicine. And the result should be that the disease or the fever, it goes down. It goes down. We become healthy. We become happy. And Prabhupada said, if you're not happy in Krishna consciousness, it means you're doing something wrong. So this should be the result, that we become free of this contamination. It's so difficult, though. It's so difficult to become free of all the contamination in this world. But there's hope. There's hope in the teachings that have been given to us by Srila Prabhupada, by Krishna, that we can become purified. Anything is possible. The impossible is possible by the mercy of Krishna. So we just have to hang on to this process very diligently, and Krishna will help us. But this is the cure for the disease, this hearing and chanting, as Prabhupada mentions in the purport. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Bandhanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma-nivedanam. And he mentions Ambarish Maharaj. You know, there's different devotees that were expert at different services. Just like Shravanam, hearing, was Parikshit Maharaj. He was the best. Of course, there was many devotees there hearing. It's interesting. So many devotees that were hearing very attentively. Kirtanam, Sukadeva Goswami, 7 days just constantly giving Krishna Katha. Well, imagine the atmosphere there. Just, all these great personalities from around the universe were there hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, Sukadeva Goswami. Imagine the atmosphere. Oh man, it was just concentrated, pure atmosphere of Krishna consciousness. And remembering was Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj is, talking about being put in reversal situations. My God, his father tried to kill him in so many ways. Tried to get him stomped on by an elephant, thrown in boiling ghee. Had these monsters there with their tridents, ready to pierce him. I guess they couldn't pierce him. I guess they throw him off a cliff. Couldn't kill him. He was just thinking of Krishna, absorbed in thinking of Krishna. What a great example, huh? So Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padase, worshipping the lotus feet of the Lord, as Lakshmi Devi is. So Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padase, Archanam, who was the best at worshipping the Lord? Prithu Maharaj. Archanam, Vandanam, offering prayers. Besides Balaram, who knows? Akrura. Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, who was the best servant? Hanuman, Sakyam, Atma-nivedanam. Arjuna is he's the friend, and surrendering everything? Huh? Bali Maharaj. But Ambarish Maharaj, he was the best at doing all of them. All of them. He was the best. Imagine. And he was a king. He was a manager. Not just of a state, of the world. I mean, what an incredible personality. Ambarish Maharaj. And boy, what a reversal he had to face. This huge demon came after him to kill him. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Just completely aloof, no fear whatsoever. There was all these other brahmanas around. When they saw this fiery demon, they took off running. Hightailed it out of there. But he was just completely absorbed in Krishna. Nothing could make him flinch. Just completely absorbed in Krishna. So this is the result of Krishna consciousness. So maybe we'll stop there. Any questions or comments? Yes, Bhakti Daniel.
Thank you, Vijay Prabhu. My question is, serving, to the feet of like our Lord or even our Guru. What is the significance of the feet, and what is also like the energy behind it? Like, so why do we do it, and what is also happening when we do it?
Why we offer so much attention on the feet?
Yeah, and then what is also like, so why do we do it, and what is happening as well?
Oh, okay. Good question, actually. Generally, in the West, we don't put much importance to the feet. But the feet in Vedic culture, they're they're the lowest part of the body. They walk on the ground and they get dirt and everything. So, to show humility, a devotee touches the feet. Also, it's said that if you touch the feet of a great devotee, that you become free of reaction to sinful activities. So, why that is? That's just one of the things. That's the culture. Yeah. For some reason, Krishna arranged that if you touch the feet of a devotee, you become purified. And therefore, many times Prabhupada wouldn't allow people to touch his feet, because the person who's getting his feet touched, he takes on the karma of that person. So Prabhupada would sometimes tell his secretaries and servants, don't let anybody touch my feet. And there was one pastime when Radhanath Swami first met Prabhupada, he went to touch his feet. And Prabhupada had instructed devotees, don't let anybody touch my feet. So Radhanath Swami went to go touch his feet, and Tamal Krishna Maharaj stopped him. And Prabhupada said, no, it's okay. He can touch. So he was able to. So I guess Prabhupada could see that this person is sincere. So he got the mercy, touched Prabhupada's feet. And some devotees, towards the end, when Prabhupada was leaving this world, they were just massaging Prabhupada's feet for a long time sometimes, really getting the mercy of Prabhupada. So to touch the feet of the pure devotee, or to touch the feet of Krishna, it's like when devotees go on the altar, first they go and they touch the feet of the Lord. Yeah, and then they do their service.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Vijaya Krishna, Prabhu.
May I, Prabhu?
You may.
Prabhu, in relation to the purport for the verse you chose for today, we see that we should go for watering the root of the tree. But in accordance with Lord Chaitanya's movement, we are advised in relation to offering the service to the servant of the servant of the servant 1,000 times removed. So, Prabhu, my question is, in what measure offering service to the servant of the servant 1,000 times removed is the same as watering the root of the tree?
Because the devotees of Krishna are very dear to Krishna. So if we please Krishna by serving his devotees, then we make great advancement. Sadhavo hridayam mayam, sadhavo hridayam tvaham. With the same pastime with Ambarish Maharaj. Ambarish Maharaj, he was so pure, so tolerant, that this demon that came after him was destroyed by the Sudarshan Chakra. And then the Sudarshan Chakra went after Durvasa Muni. And the Sudarshan Chakra is very hot, dangerous. You don't want to get on the wrong side of the Sudarshan Chakra. So Sudarshan Chakra was chasing Durvasa Muni all over the universe. Went to Shiva, went to Brahma, nothing they can do. You'll have to go to Vishnu. So somehow he was able to go to Vaikuntha. And he begged Lord Vishnu, please, what the Sudarshan Chakra is chasing me, what can I do? And what did Lord Vishnu say? Nothing I can do. You have to go to the devotee that you've offended, Ambarish Maharaj, and beg for forgiveness. And there he said, Sadhavo hridayam mayam, sadhavo hridayam tvaham. Lord Vishnu said, the devotee is within my heart, and I am within the heart of the devotee. The devotee doesn't know anyone but me, and I don't know anyone but my devotee. So, especially someone like that, like Ambarish Maharaj, oh my goodness. If anybody touches his feet, whoo, or serves such a great devotee, oh my goodness. Can't imagine the good fortune. So, yeah, Krishna is very pleased for those personalities that serve his devotees, because they're more dear to him than himself. It's even said in the Bhagavatam that I'm ready to lop off my own arm for my devotee. More dear to him than anything else is the devotee. So, yeah, we have to serve the devotees. And therefore it's said that one devotee prayed to Krishna, please, my dear Lord Krishna, engage me in your service. Engage me in the service of your devotees. Please give me friendship with your devotees. And bless me with compassion for all living entities. So we should pray to Krishna, just like this devotee prayed to Krishna, for friendship with the devotees. So we should have nice friendship with the devotees and try to serve the devotees. If we do that, then we're safely situated in our devotional service. It's okay?
Yes, Prabhu, better than okay. Again, wonderful answer to my question. And if I may, Prabhu, in relation to adding to your wonderful answer to my question, I think that Lord Shiva said that, who said it, that the one who says that he is my devotee, he is not my devotee. But the one who says that he is a devotee of my devotee, that one is my devotee.
Yes, yes, thank you.
Who said that?
Who says that? I don't remember. Huh? Krishna speaking to Arjuna. Padma Purana.
Oh, thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Just real quick. So we can touch Prabhupada's feet now, right? That's okay.
That's okay.
Okay, okay. And then my second question, really quick, also is, how do you take back the karma? Like, let's say you accidentally touch someone's feet. Like, how do you take back the karma that you might have given them?
Touch their head.
Okay. Touch their head and put it to your head.
Someone comes and touches your feet, and then you touch their head, and then you're free of that.
Free of the karma they gave you?
Of the karma that they gave to you. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And the same thing for them?
Therefore, you'd see Prabhupada, sometimes people would touch his feet, and he would pat them on the head, you know. Srila Prabhupada ki